Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Play Some Video Games, the only gaming podcast that promises not to bundle our podcast with a 10 by 24-inch canvas print of Breath of the Wild or a $150 Ryu statue.
And that's a good idea, actually. We should probably look into.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
it's good product placement. We could sell statues.
Yeah. Okay, but anyway, it is I, your host, Kevin, as always. In case you weren't able to figure it out, Donnie is with me as well. Hi, Donnie.
Greetings, Koopalings.
And we also have, as our cohorts, our evil minions this evening, Josh. Sir, how we doing?
What's up, buttheads? Does that work?
That works. And then last but certainly not least, this guy accidentally clicked a link on Facebook. He was looking for singles in his area, but Justin has returned to the podcast. Justin, how we doing, man?
I'm a little disappointed right now.
I know we're all married, so yeah, you didn't get any singles. But,
I'm doing good.
All right. So thank you everybody for listening and tuning in each and every week and dealing with our nonsense and letting us infect your airwaves for a little bit at a time. We do appreciate it, and we hope you would spread the word, if you will. So let's dive right in and talk a little bit about what's been going on with us, maybe a little bit of what we've been playing and kind of just life in general. So let's check in first, since it's been so long. Justin, you have the floor, sir.
All right. Well, I have actually been playing a lot of games. I think the last time I was on the podcast, I had literally been playing nothing, but I finished Zelda and I was playing Thumper. But I went on a spending spree on Best Buy, and I purchased a bunch of games that some are still unopened in the package. But I've been playing, I played through Injustice, the story mode. I enjoyed that. I'm horrible at fighting games, unlike some of you guys, but I managed to get through the story, and I enjoyed it. It's not like my favorite game ever, but it's a comic book story, so I liked it. So I did beat that. I started Nier Automata. I'm probably only a couple hours into that, but I like that, and I'm probably going to finish that one. So
it's worth finishing, but you have to finish it like 3 times.
That's the part I'm afraid of. That.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to get to the end and be like, I
finished the first one, and then like I'm going to YouTube the rest of this.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that might be what's happening, but we'll see. I'm still playing through Horizon. Actually, I've not beaten Horizon yet, but I feel like I'm like at least a third of maybe halfway through the game. But we'll see. Chugging through that. Splatoon 2, I'm still playing that. You wouldn't know that because I don't ever join the game nights because I'm a horrible person. But well, mostly it's just to stay away from Jason. I don't want to mix company or anything. So that's I do a single player Splatoon. So and then
you're doing Splatoon wrong.
Oh,
that's not the way the game's supposed to.
That's a sentence I didn't expect to hear. So, but whatever. It's fun by yourself. All right. I like to just relax in bed and play it. I don't want to get too serious about it. Anyways, like I was saying, so I'm also playing Sonic. What's the new Sonic on Switch? And
Mania.
I don't know, that's
Sonic Mania.
Sonic Mania. That's right. I don't know. Sonic's harder than I remember, but actually
It's a
not.
challenging
I
game.
also remember it being hard when I was a kid, but I kind of expected that was just because I was young and a stupid kid. But apparently, it's still hard as an adult because, I struggle to get through some of those levels sometimes. So, that's all. I mean, what a trip down memory lane that game is. So, but I mean, you guys have talked about it as well. I don't know. It's a fun game.
I mean, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think like I'm through level 8? I haven't played as much this week as I wanted to, but I mean, what do you think about my initial thoughts? I mean, like I'm down with the graphics. Like I love the old but the new twist, like in the music and everything. And it's hard, but the one thing I told Kevin last week on the show is it felt like more of a platforming challenge than I remember Sonic being. Like Sonic before, I felt like I was like, just go right.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
You
Yeah.
know?
There's I don't remember there being as many choices as I feel like there are now.
Yeah.
Like I get to these sections and I can actually see the choice. I might be flying past it because I'm, you know, going too fast or whatever, but like I can see kind of where, you know, I could find other areas. And yeah, like finding a hidden area is like super gratifying. Like anytime you find one of those, and playing those weird, you know, 3D levels.
It'd be
for the
cool to see
Chaos
Sonic
Emeralds.
Mania like speed run. Like
Oh,
that would be impressive to see somebody like just dominate the game, because it's like you said, it's challenging, and then I'm finding there's challenge like in the platforming as well as the speed. So it's good. Like I just really like it. It seems like it's a better way of putting it. It's like it has like an expert level of polish. You know, like every jump and everything is like calculated. Like you need to be going this fast and jump at this time to clear this obstacle to get to the next section. And if you don't, like, you're gonna die.
Oh yeah, it's insane. And yeah, you feel that a lot where you hit a jump and it's like, that was like 2 seconds too late. But yeah, that is I really enjoying that. And I feel like that's one that I'm gonna keep coming back to on my Switch, and just playing through a level here and there. Like I can't sit down and play it for hours on end, like, you know, like a 3D action game or something. But every night, that's probably one of the games that I'm gonna just go to and play for a little bit. So playing that, and then finally busted out the old Vita to play some Undertale.
Ooh, is it really good? Is it as amazing as everybody says? Because that looks like Undertale to me, from what I've seen, and I haven't done a deep dive, but here's what I think when I see Undertale. I've probably seen 5 minutes of Undertale, and I was like, that's Kevin's favorite game and Donnie's like most hated game. Like it looks like Earthbound like redone. Like I'm just like, no, that's Kevin's game.
It's weird. I mean, I'm like, I've only played like maybe an hour. Like I played through the first hour, kind of got to a point where I could save, and I was like, okay, I'm cool. But I'm gonna be jumping back in, because it's weird. It is a Kevin game. But I don't know, like things are explained just enough to where like, I kind of want to jump back in and see where the story takes me. So I will keep playing it, and I gotta tell you, like, it was a really good reason to pick up my Vita back up. Like it had literally been sitting for months and months, and I was just like, you know what, this is cross-buy. So worst case scenario, I don't want to play it on my Vita, and I bust it out on the PS4 or something. So, but no, it's a perfect Vita game. So they're few and far between, but if there's any Vita owners out there, I would give it a shot. It's $15, you know, and it's weird, but it's still just old school RPG. So that is everything for me.
All right, fair enough. Let's go Donnie next. What have you been playing? What have you been up to?
After the last podcast, I started to feel like such guilt and shame for just taking to Xbox as much as I did. I felt determined. I was like, you know what? I'm going to turn on this damn box. I'm going to find something to play on it. I've been hearing good things about this game called Friday the 13th, the game. I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy this game. I went and found some credit. I've got stashed around, found a way, made it happen. Don't buy that game on Xbox. It's not Xbox's fault, but don't buy the game on Xbox. I read a stream of me for 30 minutes trying to find a match on that, and I could not. And in the middle of that 30 minutes of trying, I stopped, paused, went and joined the national group, like friended up with people, accepted invitations, still could not match up with people. I don't know what's wrong with that game. Kyle was saying they've got some code. It's broken. It is broken. Like, I was so upset. Ended up getting on the phone with customer support, got my money back. So I used credit that I wouldn't have used to buy an Xbox game. So I had just had money sitting around. And I was like, what am I going to do with this? I want to buy a game. So I started going through like their curated list of like top rated games. I found Oxenfree. So I bought that, played that, streamed the first hour, beat the game. It's fantastic. It's amazing.
Wait, on Xbox?
On Xbox.
We'll get to a story later on. Anyway, Go ahead.
Good teaser. No real regrets. I mean, I had money to spend. I bought it and played it. It was great. But yeah, it's a little bad taste now. You're like, well, God, didn't need to do that. So yeah, that's happened. And then I started playing Uncharted Lost Legacy last night. I got the game yesterday. It came in the mail from Amazon. And if you watch my stream, the stream's only about 18 minutes. I barely get through like the prologue because my daughter walks in and she goes, "Where's Archie?" That's my dog. We have a Wheaton Terrier. If you don't know what that is, like an Irish sheepdog. And he's like a big woolly, it's like Chewbacca the dog. That's basically what it is. He's Chewbacca the dog. And he's the dog in all the movies, by the way. Like his breed is very famous for being in like talk shows, like Benji, that type of thing. Yeah. So
you just open the door and go.
That's what I should do. So I'm sitting there streaming. This is live. You can go check it on YouTube. The video. It's like 20 minutes long. And if you could just scroll to the back of it, I'm sitting there streaming. It's Wednesday night. My kids are off to church. I'm like, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to play some Uncharted. Like, yes, Naughty Dog. I've been waiting for this forever. And then all of a sudden, my daughter comes in like frantic. "Where's Archie?" Like, well, he's out on his chain because that's where we put him in the afternoon. She shows me, "Kevin, look at me. Look up." She like lifts her hands and she's like, "Here's the chain. He broke the chain."
All dramatic, like.
Oh. Yes, exactly. And then my wife's like, "We have to go. He's probably dead." I'm like, everybody needs
wow, way to be optimistic.
Calm down. Like everybody needs to chill out. All right, so I got 2 dogs. Link the lab is a lab. He's a lab at heart. If you've ever owned a lab, you know exactly what it means. He's super obnoxious, like with energy. He's just a cheerleader. He just wants to run and play all day. If he gets off, like if he goes out, he's gone. Like dude's running until he stops running. Like he just takes off. Archie's older. And he's a terrier. He's like full of fur. Archie doesn't like outside. You know, like Archie likes to stay inside, actually. So I'm sitting there on the stream and I feel like the worst person because I watched it the next day because my immediate reaction is just like this resistance to like this stress that they're trying to put into my life. They're like, "Get off the game. We have to go look for him." I'm like, what are we going to do? Like he's been off for hours. Like, what do you want? She's like, "We have to go right now." And I'm like, he's probably fine. So anyway, I did kill the stream just to update anybody that was actually watching. Disclaimer, there was nobody watching, by the way. But if you did watch it, we walk outside, literally immediately we walk outside. He's right there in the yard. Like I said, like he didn't want to go anywhere. That's the last thing he wants to do is run away. He's like, "I'm trying to get back in the house."
Yeah,
like,
I was breaking to get in.
He's like, "I got off this chain so I get back in the air conditioning. It's hot out here. I'm covered in fur." So I haven't played a whole lot, guys. I beat Oxenfree. It's fantastic. A short game. Great. We'll talk about it later. It's a fantastic game. It's fun. It's a little slow for my liking. I don't think I'm as high on it as anybody else or as other people. When I say other people, I basically mean Seth, but there's a lot of reviews out there that are like really high on it, like 9+ and stuff. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I just think because it's so slow, I mean, it's a conversation game. You know, like you walk around and talk to people. Like that's what you do. You know, there's not a whole lot more to it. Like, so because it's that, you know, it's okay. It's good. It's good. I mean, I'm not upset that I played it. I'm glad that I did play it. I'm happy I played it. It was fun. Not that it's so far game related, but I bought a Kinect this week.
Are you okay?
like when everybody was like getting away from Kinect and talking about how awful it was. I'm gonna eat a little crow here. I told Nathan I would do it. That mixer is pretty freaking sweet.
Oh.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it's pretty good. It's way better than it used to be when it was called Beam. I don't know what they did when they rebranded, but like it's better. Because I remember when I beamed We Happy Few when it was in preview, and beaming was a pain. Like you had to click into the menu and like the OS. Like I've talked long and hard about how I hate the OS on Xbox. It's still not my favorite, but I'm looking forward to the new one. But with Beam, you just click the home button. And it's right there, Beam, and you click that, and then it's like start broadcast. It's very similar to the PlayStation share button. But
oh, nice.
The thing that I noticed about Beam, and I know Nathan said this, but anybody that's listening to us, you have to understand that when they transferred to Beam, Nathan said Beam about 10,000 times a day. So for anybody else that wasn't beaming, like we were all just tired of hearing beam. I don't know if anybody actually gave it the college try, because Nathan just wouldn't stop saying beam over and over and over again, trying to get us all to beam something. So, or mixer.
Madden.
Mix it
Madden.
up. Madden. So I go to do mixer. I'm like, I'm going to stream this. I'm going to try it out. So I click it. I go right in there and I'm like, I'm Donnie, start broadcast. And it goes immediately. And I'm like,
you should have said you're Donnie after you started broadcasting, because nobody heard you then.
there you go. So it goes live immediately. I'm like, I wonder if it's working. I go to my phone, right? I pull it up on my phone and I want to see it. And as soon as I talk into my headphone, Kevin, it plays back on my phone. Like it's instant. It's instantaneous. There's no delay. Like on YouTube with like PlayStation or Elgato, there's like it's not even like a short delay. There's like a long delay. I feel like upwards of a minute you're behind anybody that's watching you. You know, on Mixer, not at all. It is right there. I still don't like that I can't stream straight to YouTube, so I don't want to sit there and say that. But Mixer is a fun service, and it is easy enough to download. So they automatically save your videos. You can download them in MP4 and just load them to YouTube. So like the next day, like because I tried to stream Friday the 13th, that's why I started doing it. I was like, Friday the 13th is a great day a great game to stream, right? I'm gonna stream like me hunting down like campers. Like this is gonna be fantastic. But I couldn't get in a match. So it was a 30-minute stream of me not being able to do anything, being very upset. And I was like, this is awful. So I started streaming Oxenfree with Mixer, and I was like, you know, this is really nice. I think I might start doing this more. It's so nice that if there was a game that I wanted to stream, like let's say like a third-party game, and I was like, you know what, I really want to stream this for our YouTube. Mixer's good enough. I might buy it on Xbox just to stream it on Mixer.
Oh.
That's not a joke. Like I really enjoyed it. So with all that said, I bought a Kinect and the stupid little cable. So I bought them separately. It was like $50. And I was like, you know, because the other thing I liked is I used my PlayStation headset to do it, but I don't have a camera. And the Xbox, you can't use any other camera. Like you have to use a Kinect. Like you can't use a webcam or anything like that. So
yeah,
I just went ahead and got a Kinect. They're pretty cheap now. You know, they're used and nobody wants them anymore. So I was like, I'll just get a Kinect and I'll start streaming more. So yeah, trying to boot up that Xbox, trying to give it a little run. I did buy Cuphead, but yeah, I haven't played much more than that.
All right, fair enough. Josh, why don't you go ahead?
Okay. Well, right before we started, I booted up the Pokken or Pokken, however you want to pronounce it, for the Switch. I didn't play it when it was on the Wii U, so I went through the tutorials and I did a match. It would definitely be more fun 2 players, kind of like as most fighting games are. The AI, at least for the first match, is pretty dumbed down and pretty easy. I'm sure it's a game made for kids generally anyways, but there should be, I'm sure they have tournaments for that, right? So there must be a pretty good curve for difficulty. I liked it. It looked crisp. I played it in handheld mode. I didn't play it on the TV. It looked really good. Controlled pretty well, so I was impressed with that. I didn't expect much out of it, so it kind of impressed me.
Does it show that how like there's limits on how many times you can play the demo, which I absolutely hate.
Yeah, 15 times.
Yeah, you can do that. They do that on 3DS, but I don't think they did that a whole lot or much on Wii U. It's like not something they really bring into consoles, and I was really upset because especially that this is a port. I was kind of hoping that the demo would be like, here's 2 characters, you play as much as you want. Because I wanted to like download. It's like my son's favorite game. Like he loves Pokken. So I wanted to be like, play this until I buy the game for you. Now I'm going to be like, play this 15 times and then wait a couple months because I'm not buying it for you next month.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a bummer that they do that. I mean, you go download any demo on Xbox and PlayStation. You're not getting timed demos anymore that much.
I don't think there's a timed demo on Switch. There's plenty of demos. Like you play them, you like Rayman's demo. Like Rayman just had their demo. Yeah. It's actually a lengthy demo. You play multiple stages as many times as you want. Like I could make the case that you might not buy the game because you just play the demo a lot.
Yeah,
like you really could.
Yeah. I did play that this week too. I did the Rayman demo, even though I played through most of the game on the Xbox One. I still wanted to try it on the Switch and see how it felt. A lot of the stuff I've been doing in handheld mode because I've been kind of like multitasking. Splatoon 2 I've been playing as well. Sonic Mania I was playing right before we started this as well. That's another game like I can relate to what Justin was saying. Like I remember it being hard when I was younger, but not like crazy hard. And like this game, man, right before we started, I rage quit because I got killed at the same stupid thing 3 times in a row and had to go all the way back to the checkpoint. I'm like, I mean, the game's cool. I love it. It looks incredible for an 8-bit new Sonic game that, you know, they captured it perfectly. And that React channel I love to watch. They had the adults react to Sonic Mania, and they loved it as well, just the same way I feel about it. So I was pretty impressed with that. I've been playing some board games. For anyone who cares, we played a game called Ethnos last night, which was really fun, and then a game called Big Book of Madness, which is a great cooperative, I would say even family game, reminiscent of like a Harry Potter kind of magician spell fighting like monsters out of a book kind of game. It was very cool. It's a game my wife wanted to play 2 times in a row, and we never play a board game twice in a row. So that's a good
Can I jump in here?
promotion. Yeah.
I want to ask you something. One of the few Kevin, one of the few things that I've been doing lately, I haven't been updating. In the last 3 or 4 weeks, my son has been way into card games. Like we bought a poker table and blackjack, and I'm like,
I saw
I
that.
taught him how to play blackjack. I'm taught him to play poker. We're playing Yahtzee.
Can't give him a gambling addiction already. He's only
He's a degenerate
awesome.
gambler. So we went to our cousin's house, and they have a blackjack table, and they were playing it. And he played a few hands. He really got into it. So like he wanted to do it. So like I said, we started there. Then it's all about like the chips and betting, like who wins. Like he's all about it. So I wanted to ask you, since you just brought it up with these board games, is there like a game? It doesn't have to be a board game, or it could be that you think we could lean into. Because I've got this weird thing where I've got a 6-year-old. He's probably the second best gamer in the family. I got a 10-year-old, right? Then I've got my wife.
Who's the best gamer in the
who's
family?
like 30. She has no idea about games or anything like that. And then myself.
Yeah.
And blackjack is something we can all play together. And that brings us together. Like we've started having these game nights, and Yahtzee was another good one. Like we did Yahtzee, and everybody loved Yahtzee.
Yeah.
And these are folks who never played these games before. Do you have anything like in that realm that I can look into?
Yeah, there's a lot. I would say to give you like a blanket recommendation, poker kind of blackjack poker, that all falls under the category of trick-taking games. So if you ever just Googled trick-taking board games, that goes from everything from like pitch to regular themed board games that you can find. But if you're playing games like Yahtzee, like dice games, there's a lot of like I'm looking across the room right now because I'm looking at my rack to see what games I could recommend. But for family games, Catan is a great game to start off on, and it's a lot of that kind of gives them the ideas of how to trade and manage supplies, and like I'm not trying to make it sound boring. I hear myself and I'm boring myself.
No,
but
no, you're not. It's
good it's good teaching for kids, like when obviously when they're playing games like blackjack and poker, they're learning math and statistics and probability. That's the kind of stuff you're going to learn from games like Catan is a great one to get into.
Can you spell that? I quickly tried to.
Catan, or commonly under settlers of.
And Machikoro too would be a good one.
Machikoro would be good.
Can you spell that? Machikoro.
MACHI, then space KORO.
Got it.
Okay, I don't want to derail this conversation,
but I'm going
to recommend
Donnie,
Ticket to Ride.
Donnie, I need you to turn around and look up on your wall and tell me if you see a spider. Because I swear I just saw a spider crawling above Ellie and Joel, and it was freaking me out.
I don't see a spider. It's possibly there was a moth.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
Donnie, I'm telling you, there's something in that room. So you need.
It's a
Get
bat.
out!
It's
Get
a
out!
bat.
Get
Joining
out!
the PSVG theme, we've got a bat in the house, but we haven't seen it in a few days, so he's somewhere. Machi Kuro.
Sorry.
But I'll get a list for you, Donnie, and I'll send you some recommendations after I can do some like investigatory research.
I'd appreciate it, because like I got them started on Pokemon, and we all love video games, but like especially my son, like he really loves like family game night. Like I bought like a table and everything. Like we sat around, we started dealing out chips. Like he got to understand like how to make bets and how to like double down and how to make blinds. And like he does the stupid thing in poker where like he'll push all of his like chips into the middle, and like on like the second hand, and he'll look at you and he'll go, "I'm gonna bluff." You're just like, no, you're not.
Yeah, then you
Classic
you
move.
need to get there's a game called Avalon or Resistance. Those are two good games that teach you how to bluff real well in a themed environment. Avalon is based off of like Merlin and King Arthur stuff.
Got it.
Resistance is very similar, but you play a role and someone is a spy or someone is a bad guy and they have to pretend like they aren't that person.
That sounds amazing. Because what I'm doing is I'm searching for like Christmas ideas. Like I always buy all of my Christmas stuff like months in advance. I'm like, this is what I'm after.
The whole bluffing thing, Josh. One Night Ultimate Werewolf.
Yeah, and that's a Target. One Night Ultimate Werewolf.
One Night Ultimate Werewolf, Donnie, and it has an accompanying app that does some audio stuff. But that's a great one if he likes to bluff and stuff like that. That's a good one for that. And it's very easy to learn too. Like I said, that was one of the first ones my kids started playing. So.
There is a game called Secret Hitler. I don't know if I'd recommend that one.
Yeah, no.
Not yet.
But it's the same idea.
Well, thank you.
Daddy, who's Hitler?
Yeah.
I've added all of these to the wish list, and I
That's
will
a
knock them off.
fascist.
It's a fascist.
So that pretty much ends the games I'm playing, but I wanted to bring something up. This is kind of like a coach thing, but I have a buddy who texts me just randomly at 11 o'clock this morning. He's in California, so that's 8 a.m. for him. And I'm going to read the text. He says, "I literally don't want to play Madden 18 because it's not on the Switch. For the first time in my life, I don't want to play Madden." This is a guy who brought his PS4 with him from California because he was in a 7-year league that they've been doing drafts and playing full seasons with. And he said he loves his Switch so much that because Madden 18 didn't come out on it, he doesn't even want to buy Madden this year.
I can relate. I really feel like they've missed an opportunity. Like they've got FIFA coming, but had they had Madden, Madden's the one here in the States.
Yeah.
They had Madden on the Switch, portable Madden. It didn't have to be great Madden, just
decent.
good Madden. Yeah, just decent
Madden
Madden.
17.
People would have bought it because portable football would have been a huge deal. Like that would have been a big deal.
Yeah,
Totally.
And then he asked. Then I said, I hear you. I said, check out Sonic Mania. I said Mario Rabbids next week, and he's like, "What's Mario Rabbids?"
Yeah,
Oh.
he's like, don't worry about football. Play Mario Rabbids.
Yeah. So I sent him a video, and he goes, "I just watched that, and I'm more confused now."
I was just saying, you can't really explain that game to somebody else. You got to be like, just go look.
Hashtag Nintendo. Stop playing Madden and play Mario Rabbids.
But I think that says a lot for diehard Madden fan to really feel that. So anyways, that probably could have been a news article. But that's all I got for what I've been playing.
All right, I guess that leaves me then. Let's see. I have been playing Miitopia still, although this week I really didn't get much time because work's just been nuts. I've been traveling the last 2 days for work, local, so around Massachusetts and Rhode Island, but it's just a lot of hey, I'm here for an hour, and then I'm here for 2 hours, and then this vendor is going out, taking us out to lunch, and then we're going over here. And it's just been nonstop. So I didn't get to play much of that. I'm near the end, so I want to finish it so I don't have to worry about it just being in my queue anymore. I'm still enjoying it. I just want to finish it so I can play more stuff. I did randomly boot up Just Cause 3 this morning, which was available on PS Plus for free if you have the PS Plus. It's not good. But it is. I streamed the first half hour. It's up on our YouTube. It's so much fun though. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
It is a fun game. Graphically, not great. The voice acting actually is pretty okay. But it's just interesting. So I'm going to keep streaming that for the YouTube so you guys can follow. Like I said, the first half hour of the game is up already. Pretty fun. It reminds me very much like Saints Row, which I enjoy that series because it's fun, not because it's a good game.
Yeah.
Kind of the same vibe here going with Just Cause.
I love the box art quote. PSVG says, voice acting's pretty okay.
It's pretty okay. Well, because you look at the graphics in the game, you wouldn't expect it to be like have good voice acting. And it honestly has it's good voice acting. I was caught off guard by it, I think is kind of what it was. But lots of cheesy lines, lots of way over the top action, massive explosions. It's just fun.
That's what Just Cause 2. I thought it was the same exact thing. It was like silly, weird quips here and there, dumb story, not a great game, but you're blowing stuff up, and I guess blowing up stuff's pretty fun. So I mean, like right off the bat, like the action right from the start is you start off basically you're in like a prop plane, you're flying back to your home island, I guess, and there's a dictator taking over the island, but you're flying there and he starts shooting at your plane. So naturally, what would you do? Oh, climb on top of the plane and start shooting your rocket launcher at these surface-to-air missiles that are coming at you. Like, and then you jump off the plane and like hang glide. So it's crazy, but it's a lot of fun. Do you have a zip line in that in Just Cause 3?
What was that?
Do you have like a zip line or like this hook?
The grappling hook, yeah. You got the grappling hook gun thing.
That was the coolest thing about Just Cause 2.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. You kind of zip around. You can attack right from it, or you can glide off of it.
I definitely downloaded some I don't know something for Just Cause 2 to where it would add like infinite grappling hooks, and you could just like grapple hook like people to planes, and like but like you could like grapple hook like 50 people to one plane and do weird crap like that. But
you can still do it in this one. You can tether 2 items to the grappling hook. So if like instance I'm able to tether like an explosive canister to a building, and then I like zip them together and just hits it and explodes. You can do that with people and have them knock into each other and stuff like that. So it's fun. If you have PS Plus, definitely give it a shot, even if you weren't thinking of it, because it is fun. Before I get to the last thing I've been playing, I did appear on Flex the Pose kind of this week. I know some of you guys have listened to it.
It was a brief appearance, right?
Very brief.
Briefly joined.
Yeah, well, no, actually, what happened was, you know what they say about when you assume things? Well, both Jason and I assumed different things, but it had the same end result where basically we recorded for the whole hour and I don't know, 45 minutes we went on about, and then realized that he was only recording his track and he wasn't recording mine. So we're like, wow. And I felt horrible. Absolutely horrible. And I'm just like, oh, I feel so bad. So I was like, well, let me try and make it up to you. I'll do a little something tomorrow morning. And he's like, oh, okay, I'll do a little something tomorrow morning too. He's like, maybe we could just sort it together. I was like, sure. If you don't listen to Flex Deposed, I strongly encourage you to listen to Flex Deposed, because something I thought was just going to be like a little joke, Jason has said, as well as I've noticed, they've never gotten more positive feedback from something than this episode and what we ended up doing. So I'm not going to spoil it. It's like 17 minutes. Just go listen to the newest episode of Flex Deposed. So yeah, last thing I've been playing. So I teased this on Flux Deposed, but it wasn't recorded. That the night I was not recording Flux Deposed with Jason, I got a message from somebody, and I'm not going to say who yet, because this person will be coming to play some video games for a guest appearance in the next month or so. Hey buddy, can you hop on Splatoon 2 and help me out? This person is competing in a Splatoon official Nintendo Splatoon tournament in New York. I believe it's this weekend or next weekend. They're doing like a Splatoon Invitational, and he wanted to help me train and play with him.
He or she.
He. I will say it's a he.
It's a secret.
It's a secret. And I had to turn this person down to not record Flux Deposed with Jason. But so yeah, I've been playing a lot of Splatoon 2 with this with this person. that shall remain nameless for now. But yeah, so it's funny. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a fun evening when we record this one. But yeah, been playing Splatoon 2 a little more competitively than I normally do. I kind of just know I just hop in and play for fun, but now I've been taking it a little bit more serious than I had been before lately. So I'm still loving that. Waiting for the next Splatfest to come upon us. But that's it from me. So normally here we jump into some messages, but we didn't reach out and say, hey, you guys got any emails for? So it's a good thing there's a lot of news happening this week. So we're going to dive right into the news of the week. Justin.
Yeah, what's up?
Give us your first news story.
News?
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
Yeah. Okay. So I thought that this new announcement from THQ, this new Biomutant game, I thought that was like one of the cooler games I've seen announced lately. Like, it's different than anything I've seen in a while. So I was super psyched to see that. Did any of you get a chance to like watch any of the gameplay of that?
I saw the screens that were shared, but I didn't pay any attention to it. So tell me why it's different.
I mean, the gameplay itself doesn't look terribly different. It looks like an action game, action adventure, but you're playing as I think it's a squirrel or a raccoon.
It looks like the little dude from Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Yeah, Rocket.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And yeah, but you're a little tiny squirrel dude carrying around a sword and some guns and shooting through some levels and like little stuff like I noticed in the gameplay, like these like comic book strip like Pow and Pam like will flash across the screen when you're like fighting opponents, stuff like that. And there's like I guess there's a mechanic of like you can switch out like body parts of your character and like add like mutations to your character, which change their physical appearance as well as how the gameplay. And it's just, I mean, this game, they could have kept that gameplay and it just be some human in the future setting, and it would be like every other game announcement or close to it, you know. But it's stylized a little bit differently, and yeah, you're playing as some fuzzy creature, and there's some different mechanics in there. So I
speaking of mechanics, cool. It's from, I'm trying to remember it. It's from the Just Cause people, right?
Yes.
Kevin, like all the things you were saying, like you love about the play style.
Yes.
Some of that stuff's probably expected.
Yeah, this looks cool. So this did catch my attention. I didn't watch a ton on it, but I was like, this is interesting. I was like, but yeah, it's the character you have. So imagine, I'm trying to think of how best to describe what I've seen.
The combat's like Devil May Cry.
Yes and no.
Or Bayonetta, because it kind of switches between the gun, kata, sword combat. But I don't know if you guys played Spore for the PC, but the intro when you do character creation, it has, or like Fable, it has this overly British guy describing everything you're doing, and he's like, now pick your fur style, now pick the color of your fur, and he's speaking it just like the voiceover in Fable. And I feel like that's like a little foreshadowing into, I bet the game is totally narrative driven. So
I think it is
talking over you the whole time.
Right. The combat, it's crazy. So like you will have, hand-to-hand combat like martial arts style, and you can switch stuff on the fly. So you might start with like a punch kick, but then you instantly pull out a sword and you hit him with the sword, but then you switch to a gun. And there's all different guns you can do, and it's just very fluid. As far as like the character, the body parts, Justin was talking about, like you can do claws, you can add wings, you can do telekinesis stuff. So it just seems like it's a hodgepodge of everything thrown into one thing. So it's like if you gave Sonic the ability to turn into all of the other characters at once and then still have guns and blow stuff up. Like it's kind of just a mishmash of everything. But the environment looks really cool too, and I like that. Like the environment is beautiful, a lot of colors, it's bright. And then so even though you're this creature that can be kind of morbid, I guess, when you think about what it does, it's still like a nice, vibrant environment. So it's very cool. It's very ambitious.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It looked really good though. There's a few little like technical glitches with like the bosses coming out of like that swamp thing. You could kind of see them like glitching through the ground a little bit, but that's just a tech demo. But otherwise, like the graphics themselves, they look pretty stunning.
And it's to note too that the development studio that's doing it was founded by Avalanche. Those are the guys who did the last Disney Infinity that people actually liked, but then they said they were dropping the toys to life. He's the former creative director, is the founder of this studio that's specifically developing it. So
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be pretty ambitious. Yes, will it be rougher on the edges? I'm sure there'll be things like Josh had noted, because even those games weren't fully polished, but everybody kind of said where that direction that was going was a lot more fun, and this looks to be fun as well too. So I'm pretty excited. I like it. But all right, so Josh, hit us up with a news story.
All right, I'll do the kind of non-story first, because this isn't going to surprise anyone, but some more news came out today that kind of really confirmed that Microsoft really is pushing hard on Sony on that crossplay. And up until now, I think we've all kind of had to like just imagine that was what the issue was, because some developers are coming out and saying Sony doesn't allow this, but everyone else does. But now finally, Microsoft's saying, hey, yeah, we're out there. We're actively talking to Sony about trying to figure out how we can get this crossplay to work. They specifically cite Minecraft. That's their goal to start with, because that's where I'm going to guess most of the fan base is clamoring for all that crossplay. But if you paid attention to Gamescom at all, if you can kind of look past that mediocre like Microsoft gathering, one of the things that you really can take away from that is all that stuff all that news where they're talking about Xbox One and Windows 10 crossplay. I mean, that kind of gets glossed over a little bit, maybe because a lot of people aren't really using that or buying games with the mindset of playing with someone on the PC. But for me, we have some people on PSVG who only PC, Lucas being one of them. And like now, maybe I get PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and now I don't need to hope that he gets an Xbox One to play with me. I can play with him while he's on his PC. I can see it on my Xbox.
Maybe I can find a match in Friday the 13th.
Yeah, well, yeah, if they allow crossplay, well, it might still be broken on the Xbox.
Yeah,
but I think that's big news, and I think it speaks a lot to what Microsoft is trying to do. Their motivations aside, I think it gets us another step closer to opening the doors on seeing more from these gaming companies working together, where it doesn't necessarily always. I mean, it gets boring, right? Microsoft versus Sony versus Microsoft, Nintendo, ... No, I'm kidding. But I don't know. I just kind of get sick of it also. I'm hoping that this kind of leads the way to a little bit more of a cooperative environment between gaming companies. I mean, they still need to make money and they still need exclusives, but, let's get Destiny so I can play with my PS4 bros while I'm on my Xbox.
But you can't, because they'll be playing on a DLC you don't have access to.
I know. Well, let's get rid of that too while we're at it. Ugh.
Womp womp.
Yep.
All right, I'll go next, because it wouldn't be an episode without Kevin talking about Injustice 2.
Woohoo!
So the Fighter Pack 2
It's like
was
a groan.
So Fighter Pack 2 was announced this week, featuring some characters that were heavily rumored for a while, and one that I didn't see coming. I know Josh didn't see coming based on his reaction when I messaged him. So we are getting Black Manta. If you're not familiar with that, that's basically Aquaman's arch nemesis. That was heavily rumored for a while, and the big trigger that we thought he was coming was the fact that he was in a cutscene in a stage transition, if you will, and they redesigned his character after the game had been out for a couple weeks. Everyone's like, well, why did they change him? Well, probably because they made him into a game model. So He's coming out. Raiden is coming out, which I hate this.
So stupid. I hate it too.
I think you meant to say Raiden.
No, I say Raiden.
Here, right?
That might be better. But here's my thing. So like, while yes, I'm mad because all right, we had one Mortal Kombat character already. We don't need more. But I liked Sub-Zero in this game, so I'm kind of like, well, is this gonna have a Raiden? I don't know, but
no,
I just there's so many other characters, especially ones that have those powers. You could have done Static Shock. You could have done Black Lightning. You could have done like there's so many other characters you could have just done with that and had it be, more fan service. But whatever.
Before you get to the third guy, I just want to comment because I had a conversation with my friend about this. I'm bummed that they put Raiden in this.
Yep.
Not because it's Raiden. I mean, whatever. But this is injustice. They did it in Marvel versus DC universe.
Yes.
It was terrible. But that's because they were using that old Mortal Kombat Armageddon weird 3D fighting engine. Why not just hold off and next 2018 put out a DC versus
do a sequel, Mortal Kombat again.
Mortal Kombat, and people would eat that up.
Yep.
Just do that whole game all over, but use this new fighting engine. It would be awesome. I'd buy that day one. And then you can have your Raidens and your Katanas and your Molinas and your Sub-Zeros and your Scorpions. Like, save it. But anyway, that's my rant.
No,
let's get to the awesome character announcement.
That's a valid point though. But it's the last one, and you can watch the whole trailer. The trailer's up online that show these three characters interacting with each other. The last one, Hellboy.
Yes.
Did not see this one coming, but I am all for it. I think that's gonna be a great addition. A lot of fun, great character. The voice acting, right, just from the trailer, sounded like great. So I'm like, I'm all for it.
So I didn't listen. I was at work when the trailer came out. Does he have Ron Perlman's voice, or does he have the new Hellboy's voice?
It's not Ron Perlman. I don't know.
Stranger Things?
That I don't know because I haven't heard that voice. But it just sounded similar to Ron Perlman, where I'm like, okay, that's passable as Hellboy. So I don't know if the guy's in the middle in between.
I'll have to look it up and see if it's listed on IMDb.
Yeah. But so yeah, really cool. Excited for that. Yeah, coming soon. First character will drop in September. I believe it's gonna be Black Manta. Is gonna be the first character.
Yeah, we'll have to wait. We're not gonna have to wait a long time for Hellboy to come out.
Yeah, because they do one a month basically when they do these. So we'll be looking at September, October, November for Hellboy then. So
yeah, he'll be the last one.
Yeah, for sure. So Donnie, you got some news?
I do.
What you got?
Got good news. News that I predicted before E3 show that didn't happen, but it looks like it's happening now. Final Fantasy is coming to Switch. Final Fantasy 15 in that regard. It is. A quote from game director Tabata says, "We can't give you any complete solid details at the moment, but we very much do want to move out and do as much as we can with the game and the franchise. There's another certain console out there that people may be thinking of. It sounds a bit like Twitch."
It doesn't mean so. You know what it's going to be? It's going to be Crystal Chronicles 2.
No, it's not.
Yep.
This was a Final Fantasy 15 stream that they were talking about. They were talking about the game coming to other platforms. Speaking of which, the game is actually coming to another platform. It's called Mobile, and there is a Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition that's coming out, which is a chibi-styled game, which has let the internet ablaze in terms of which one would come to Switch. Is it the game or the Pocket version?
It's the Pocket version.
It's Pocket version. I won't money. It's the Pocket version.
I'll let you guys talk about this. Apparently, you guys have thoughts. I'll wait.
That sounds very passive aggressive. All right, I just have a very bad opinion about this. All right, because this is
keep going.
No, it's bad news. It's not. Final Fantasy 15 cannot come to the Switch.
No, it can't.
Switch is not powerful enough to play the
No.
That's not true.
It totally can. It totally can. It's not. No. Is it going to look as good? No. But here's the reason it's not going to be the regular version. How long did it take to make Final Fantasy? There's no way. There's no way.
Hang on. Stop. This is my news story, so I'm going to stop you. Yes, the game has been in production for like 13 years. Like we've known about it. How many times has the game stopped and restarted? The game that we know today that's been released as Final Fantasy 15 probably wasn't being worked on in 2006. That's like a new game. Totally. So okay, so
I'm
production game is probably not, I don't know, 5 years.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But if they are planning on adjusting the game to have the full regular version come out on Switch, you will not see this for at least another year. And looking at the way the game is performing as far as sales, nobody cares now. I've already seen it for $20.
I do.
So
I care.
No, if people wanted to play, they would have played it already. So
I have it, and I do.
No, you don't.
I do. No, that's not true.
You did not talk about this game at all. Nathan was the only person talking about this game.
Josh, help me. You've seen me in the Empire chat room. I've been telling Nathan I've been interested. There have been times I've almost bought into Final Fantasy 15.
But you didn't. But
that's my point. Close. I've been waiting for the price to drop.
Donnie
and then it got close,
but it's not going to drop. So it's $20 on PS4 right now. Okay, get it there because you're going to get if it is a full version, you're going to get a watered down version on Switch, and you're going to pay $60 for it. It doesn't make sense.
But I'd rather play RPGs on portables.
I'd rather play it where it looks better.
Okay, I don't. But that's the point I'm trying to make. I don't. I'd rather play RPGs on portables. If Miitopia came on PS4, I wouldn't have played that game for 5 hours. I'm like, screw this. I'm playing.
Yeah. But so you will play it. It'll be the chibi style one though. So
okay,
well, that's what's coming to the Switch.
Okay, 100%. So good.
Yeah.
So let's get to the next point. So Final Fantasy 15 is coming to Switch. They said that. I disagree with both of you. I actually think it's Final Fantasy 15 the game.
Actually, they didn't say it was Final Fantasy 15. They didn't say. Hold on. They didn't even say it was Final Fantasy 15. They said Final Fantasy is coming to a console. It sounds like Twitch.
All right.
That's why I said Crystal Chronicles 2.
Justin, you respond to Kevin. Kevin, you respond to Justin. When you're both done, we'll let Josh talk, and then you guys let me come back.
I'm done.
I have nothing to say. I'm just saying there's no way it's the full game. There's no way. It's the chibi version because they're bringing it to mobile. It's going to be an easy port. Look at all the mobile games we're getting on Switch already. It's a quick cash grab. People will buy it because it is a portable. It will be fun. That's fine. And it may be fun. That's fine. But don't call it Final Fantasy 15. Don't even call it Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition because that just sounds like an insult. Even if it's not, the game might be great. Labeling it something like that is just an insult to the game. All right, Josh, you got anything?
Nope.
Okay. Go ahead, Donnie. I will say nothing else about this story. Go ahead.
Can I talk now? Do I have the floor?
Donnie has the floor.
Thank you. I disagree with both of you. I'm allowed to have my disagreement. It's allowed. I actually think Final Fantasy 15 is coming to Switch. Just like I said before our E3 show, I believe they're going to find a way to port the game. I think you're right, Justin. It won't look as good as the PlayStation 4 game. That doesn't mean that the Switch can't run PlayStation 4 games. It very much can. It's in the ballpark. They'll have to tone down some things, but it will very much run. I think that's what we're seeing. I think that's why they did not say when they announced Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, I think that's why they did not say the Pocket Edition is coming to Switch. That would have been the perfect time to say that because they're cross-promoting. You could play this on mobile, Android, iOS, or Switch, but they didn't. They didn't. And actually, if you're looking at your timeline, the Pocket Edition was announced after they gave a little prelude to Switch. They did the stream of Final Fantasy 15. They're talking about their DLC and their updates, and then they said Switch, and then they came out with the Pocket Edition. That said, as I said in our Empire chat today, I'd prefer to play the Pocket Edition on Switch if it had controller support. I absolutely would. I like the chibi style. I'm into that more art style. It's more Wind Waker. It's more into what I'm cool for. I mean, it's an RPG. It's Final Fantasy. That's all great. It looks like the same game. You still get to run around with little avatars and drive your little car and fight, big bosses. That's great. I don't care if it looks realistic or if it looks cartoony. I prefer cartoony stuff. I'm all about that. That's more in my realm. So all the argument that you two have, I don't care. Either way, I win. I get an RPG on portables that I get to play, which I'm totally down for. I'd prefer it to be the Pocket Edition. I don't think it's a disgrace to the game to have a Pocket Edition. I mean, they're taking their concept, their hard work, and they're trying to monetize it as best they can. My only thing is, from what I saw from the Pocket Edition, it didn't look like it ran well. It looked real framey from what they showed. Now it could be early. We have no idea when it's coming. I don't think. I didn't see when it was coming.
No.
But, if they launch the Pocket Edition on Switch, if it runs well, if it supports a controller, if it looks good, dude, I'm totally down for that. Yeah, give me Final Fantasy 15 Wind Waker. Sure. I'd rather play that than the regular game, even if it's cheaper, Kevin, because I don't care, because I like playing RPGs on the go. I don't like playing RPGs on my screen because I don't have a whole lot of time to sit down and play those type of games. That's my whole thing that I've learned since coming with PSVG. I really like RPGs when they're on 3DS. Like there's like a caveat to all of my RPG playing. I love RPGs when they're on Vita. I don't like RPGs when they're on PlayStation 4 because I don't have 100 hours to play Persona 5 to keep going through the same loops to make, an inch of progress. So I'm excited about this progress. I'm upset to hear that you guys aren't, but I am. So maybe there's a market out there that you're not thinking of because I think it's pretty fun.
The people who would take a watered down version of the regular game, not the Pocket Edition, are the same people that would be excited that the fact that the Skyrim port we're getting is the PS3 version.
So the thing that I heard about the Skyrim port this week is that it actually runs really, really well. We retweeted it from Eurogamer, and they were like, even Eurogamer, the people that like they're in charge of doing an analysis of games, how well they run, they were like, we're absolutely amazed at how well this runs right now. They're like, it runs better than it did on 360 or PS3. Like they were like, it runs fantastic. So that actually kind of gives me some, like, I mean, I play my Switch as a portable. Like I mainly play it as a portable. The majority of my Switch time is spent at the office or on the go or in the car. Like that's the majority of the time I play my Switch. I don't majority play it while I'm sitting here at home on my TV. So the idea that there's a game out there like Skyrim that you can do that and it's well and it's good and it's not, some garbage version, I don't think that's all. It's not a negative. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Even if you've played it before.
I'm not gonna fight anymore.
All right.
That's fine.
I'll just say this. I have a confession to make.
Justin, did you play the game? Did you play Final Fantasy 15?
Hell yeah, I did.
Okay.
I played a lot of it. In fact, we'll be talking about, I don't know why, but we're going to keep talking about Final Fantasy 15 later because it's one of my other news stories. But I played a lot of Final Fantasy 15. I've been meaning to get back to it. It's a great game. I did just watch the Pocket Edition trailer. I hadn't actually watched the trailer. I just saw the news and freaked out.
It's good.
Okay. But that is the game that's coming to Switch. There's no way that the original game.
I'd prefer it to be that way.
And okay,
maybe Kevin wouldn't. I would. I like it. I think it's better. I think it's an improvement.
No, I think it's fine. It fits.
Yeah,
it fits Nintendo's
exactly. I think it's fine.
But that's not what people want. People keep complaining because they're getting watered down ports or different versions of games that are on every other platform, like FIFA, like with the things we're saying, like where it's not the same.
IGN just said FIFA's great. I mean, it's not going to be the same thing. We know that it's not a box. It's not a foot.
Then it needs to be called something else. You cannot call it Final Fantasy 15
because names. Like he's all about Splatoon doesn't deserve it too. Like he's way into the titles.
I never said that. You keep bringing that up, and I never said that. All I said was I hope Splatoon 2 is more than just additional stages, which it was. I never once said it doesn't deserve it.
It kind of was.
But anyway, you can't. So if you make Batman Arkham Knight and you release it on every, your PlayStation, your Xbox, your PC, but then it comes onto the Switch and it looks like Batman the Animated Series. That's not Batman Arkham Knight. You cannot call it the same thing. It needs to be called something different.
Like you can't, Pocket Edition.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So that's why it's fine. But you can't sit there and say Final Fantasy 15 is coming because it is not. You are getting this. You're getting chibi Final Fantasy 15.
To disagree with both of you, I think Final Fantasy 15 is coming. I disagree. I see how you're both going, this is a mobile game, Switch is a tablet, this is the game they're getting. I don't think that's the case. I really don't. I look at a game like Zelda, I look at the way the games can scale these days, and I really think that Final Fantasy 15 is getting downported to Switch. I'm disagreeing with you on which game is coming, but I agree with you that you're all saying this game that's coming I don't want, and that's the game that I actually want. So like we're disagreeing on two fronts. I want the chibi game that I'm not getting. You guys think the chibi game is coming, but it's not. It's going to be a downported version of Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, hey, what are chibis?
Chibi Wappa?
Chibi Robo?
What's a chibi?
You don't know what a chibi is?
I think we can all agree to disagree a little bit.
It's slang for an anime art style. That's
Oh, I
what
know what
Chibi
Chibi is.
Okay.
Okay, never mind.
I'm just like, just to be sure, because for folks that are listening and
World
can't
of
watch
Final
us and see
Fantasy.
our body language.
That was like a baby chocobo or something, or chocobo.
Chocobo, I would say.
Potato. Come on.
But I mean,
All right.
I called Final Fantasy 15 at E3. Like, I really felt like this was the type of game. Like, the game that I would point to is like Xenoblade, right? Xenoblade that's coming to Switch doesn't look like some mobile game. Like, the Switch is totally capable of handling a game like that.
It is, but they would have had to been developing it all along, and they haven't been. That's
I
the
think
thing.
they have.
No, there's no way. There's no way. It was definitely an afterthought after seeing the Switch.
Okay, let me re-clarify. You're right. They haven't been developing Final Fantasy for the Switch the whole time.
Right.
I do think, however, once they got a hold of the dev kit, they were probably messing around with a Switch version of the game. So I think the game's probably been in some form of contemplation for the last year. I mean, okay, Justin, you played the game, right? I've watched the game. I watched Nathan play the game. Final Fantasy 15 isn't like blowing the world away. It's not like the world's greatest PlayStation or Xbox game. It's not. It kind of looks like a last gen game. There's a whole lot of like context, colors, hues. Like, it's a lot of beige. Like, it's not Lost Legacy visually. It's not that good.
Well, nothing is Lost Legacy visually. Like, nothing does Naughty Dog.
It's
like,
more in the Nier Automata range than it is in the.
It's a lot better than
Horizon.
that.
It's not Horizon good.
It's a lot better than that, and the scale of the world and the enemies is like huge. I mean, it's
again. I think you could scale it down. I think you could. It's possible.
After watching the trailer, Pocket Edition looks like a scaled down version to me.
I want the Pocket Edition. That's the one I want.
It looks like they killed their art style, which was realistic. They killed it and replaced it with chibi because it's probably a lot less intensive. Obviously, they're going to put it on phones. So like, why wouldn't you put that one on the Switch? It seems like it would be a lot of work to take something that's, I mean, I don't know. Regular Final Fantasy 15 was pretty intense. Like, there's a lot going on the screen. There's a lot of effects. There's a lot of scale. It would seem like a lot of work to me to scale that down, plus develop a mobile game.
That's fair. We'll see.
But I will say,
I kind of wish both came, to be honest with you.
So It's so interesting you say that. So I'm just following up on this story. After the initial statements of the whole with the console, it sounds like Twitch. They basically asked him, "Hey, is it going to be the Pocket Edition?" He said, "That is certainly a good chance." So
I saw those comments. They're being translated in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah.
They are. So he said that it's possible it could be the Pocket Edition. He didn't rule out the other edition.
No, but obviously we think about what the meaning is and what the significance of bringing this to the Switch would be.
But if
whether people would want to play
edition,
it or whether it be the right thing to do for our team.
Again, if it was the Pocket Edition to end this, if it was the Pocket Edition that had controller support that ran well, better than mobile, I'm totally in. I'll buy that game tomorrow. Like, yes, I would love to experience the story and the music and everything that it has without the realistic graphics. I don't care about the giant monster. Like, I don't need the expansiveness. Like, I'd much rather just have the story and the RPG experience on the go. I'll take the downgrade. I'm fine with that. I like chibi games. Like, sure.
It's also weird. It's episodic. I hadn't realized that.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's a retelling in 10 episodes. It's also gonna not only just be a downscale in graphics, and it's gonna be a downscale in story and what you're basically able to do then, because it's episodic. It's not gonna be like an open world. A true open world per se.
It won't take 100 hours to be
right. Exactly.
Another plus for me in that.
Which I would say that may actually make it much more accessible to a lot more gamers that way, especially on the Switch, because the battery life, you can't play like 100+ hour game. Like, forget it. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Who knows? Maybe we'll be wrong. Maybe Don will be wrong. Maybe Justin and I will be wrong. But either way,
you know who won't be wrong? I won't be wrong.
Yeah, Josh didn't say anything. But, yeah, right. But all I know is, like, at this point in this juncture, I would rather just pay the $20 and play it on PS4. But That's just me, but I get your point, Donnie, about being able to play in handheld. I would like that too, but I wouldn't be like, well, that's a $40, benefit for me, so I'll spend the extra $40 to play it on the go. Nah, but that's okay. So Justin, why don't you continue along the Final Fantasy train since your other story's related?
Yeah, you guys aren't sick of hearing about Final Fantasy 15, are you? No, okay.
You're asking the audience; they can't hear you right now. I know we're live on YouTube, but most people don't watch it live. So,
okay.
You can email Justin at podcast@playsomevideogames.com and tell him, no, I'm not tired.
So Final Fantasy 15 is getting some free DLC, some more free DLC, and it looks like Assassin's Creed branded DLC, and it's weirdly they're like meshing those two games together somehow, and I don't know why or how they decided to do that. Did any of you watch? Like, they have gameplay footage of this.
They do?
No, I didn't see the footage. No.
Yeah, it's weird. I think I linked the wrong article because I just watched it earlier tonight.
Is it like they're dressed up like him, like all those weird clothes they wear?
Your main character is dressed up like an Assassin's Creed character. He's got a hidden blade in his arm. And it's like they're trying to use the stealth mechanics from Assassin's Creed in Final Fantasy that has really bad stealth gameplay. And it is just the weirdest thing I've ever seen. But I mean, I kind of just want to bring it up because I mean, it's weird and whatever, but I mean, it's free DLC, and like they keep giving people reasons to jump back into this game. And like I own it, and I have not played through the whole main story just because I kind of got sidetracked because it's 100 hours long or whatever. But like seeing stuff like this, like just makes me like realize like I need to get back in and enjoy all this free DLC. And I'm glad to see them support it, even if it is weird branded DLC.
Yeah, that's odd. I mean, the picture I see here, it is pretty cool. But yeah, you're right. It's like, although I guess at this point, it's just as weird as Ubisoft teaming up with Nintendo to make a Mario game. So
that's very true.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Donnie.
Are you not next? I was waiting for you. I'll go.
I'm bouncing around.
Okay. Rocket League announced their Nintendo promotions. They're going to have Mario and Luigi carts. I think we kind of saw them earlier, but we saw them with like hats, which I thought was stupid, but Caroline
me
loved.
too. Yeah.
But they're not hats. Like they're getting full blown like Dodge Viper looking Mario and Luigi cars, but then they're also getting this Metroid car, and the Metroid car is what you want to get into. It looks amazing. As we've said before, and I'll continue to say again, Rocket League is perfect on Switch. That's a great game for that platform. Portable, fast, pick up and play. You get your Mario flavor totally in day one, like you can't get here soon enough. So good stuff over there.
Cool. Josh.
Okay. I was just checking real quick to see if PS Plus updated yet, and it has not.
Yeah, that'll be next week. They're not going to announce until next week.
Yeah, but just wanted to check. So I'm covering Games of Gold, which were announced today, and I was I'll say for the past few months for Games of Gold, I pretty much owned all the games that they released, or wasn't interested in the games they released one or the other. Like Slime Rancher, I downloaded, but I had no real interest in playing that game. So this month we get some heavy hitters. Sony's gonna have to step it up for PS Plus, I think, to match this. I mean, it's all subjective too. Like I'm excited about all four of these games, but some people might only be excited about one. So for the first half, we're going to have, for the Xbox One, we're going to have Forza Motorsport 5, which I think is big for me, because I'm a guy who doesn't play racing simulators. Like I don't go out to buy them. Like Horizon is my Forza. But now that this is big for them, because if I play Motorsport 5 and I love it, I'll probably just go buy Motorsport 6. And obviously that's why they're doing it, I would assume. Same reason why Star Wars Battlefront's $6 right now on Xbox Live, which is also kind of nuts.
Yep.
And then for your 360 backwards compatible game, you get Hydro Thunder Hurricane, which is pretty great because I reviewed a game for the site a few months back that even Donnie was interested in checking out. That was basically Wave Race Hydro Thunder hybrid game, and now we're going to get to play that Hydro Thunder arcade game on the 360 for back compat. And then Donnie will be familiar with our second Xbox One game for the second half of September, and that will be Oxenfree, which I'm actually excited to play now.
It should be a great game.
But I got to ask, is this the game that I saw you streaming where you're standing on a boat talking to some dude about his wife or something like that?
That's it.
Okay. I don't know how interested I am.
It's a slow burn. Seth, like I said, Seth Superhana, and he reviewed it for the site, gave it a 90. It's a good score. I can't argue with the score. Would I have given it a score? No, but I wouldn't have been that far off.
Nice. Well, I'm excited to check it out.
Kevin, it's better than Metopia.
Oh,
but
boy.
But it's slow. It's slow. It's very conversational. Like it's kind of like it's a visual narrative.
It looked good. The voice acting sounded good. So
it is.
I'm excited to try it.
Very good. It's like the 2D version of like Life is Strange.
Oh,
there's like a lot of that going on.
Nice.
Oh, I started playing that too. I didn't mention that, but I did play some of that. That's a cool game too.
Nice. And then the fourth one's Battlefield 3. I mean, if you're a cool kid like me and you have EA access, you already have this, but now you can download it. And if you decide to cancel one of your 2 subscriptions, at least you'll still have Battlefield 3. If you really want to play it, you'll be able to have it on either aspect. I'm curious. I don't know if you guys have ever delved into this or not. When they do these PS Plus games or games of gold for like the PS3 or the 360 games, have you ever tried jumping onto multiplayer? Are they still active? Are people playing them online now that everyone has access to them? Or do you think I'm going to get on to Ghost Town for like Battlefield 3 maps and stuff?
And based off of Friday the 13th?
No.
And that's a newer game.
That's a brand new game that nobody's playing online. I don't play. The majority online games I don't play. Like I was going out on a limb trying to get into that one, and I mean that's a big reason why I don't buy into those things. You know, like Evolve and whatnot. I'm like, well, once everybody moves on, it's a waste of money. Like,
yeah,
that's a huge reason why I don't jump into that pool. So I can't really offer a whole lot.
I mean, I don't know about past generations like 360 and PS3, but even like older PS4 games, when they go on PS Plus, I usually download all those games just to try them. And if there's multiplayer, at least right after it's free, there's a lot of people downloading it and playing it. So like usually there's someone there to play multiplayer with. I don't know about the past generation, but like there's still millions and millions of people who own those systems who might not be able to afford, the newer systems or whatever. So I'm sure there's a multiplayer, especially right after it's been given away for free.
Cool.
Especially on Xbox when you can the backwards compatibility. So I think the
That's true,
Xbox
yeah.
ones will
They got
definitely have some people playing for a little bit at least.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot worse on PS3. Like,
oh god, yeah,
PS3 games, but
I can't even imagine going back and downloading one of those. But all right, so Ubisoft announced that Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle is getting a season pass. So this is something they didn't really talk about leading up to this, and they just kind of dropped it. Not only will there be DLC, there'll be a season pass. So the details aren't really fully fleshed out, but there are 2 things coming this year. The first piece of DLC is exclusive only to pass owners. You get 8 steampunk-style weapons. From what we know, it's more just like skins as opposed to them actually doing something different per se. But that'll be available at launch. And then later this fall, pass owners will also receive some new solo maps and cooperative maps to play through. So more content to keep you playing. But they said the biggest thing, some point in 2018, so very vague, they plan on adding a story expansion to the game. So they
And
didn't.
it's an unexpected story expansion, which was
Yeah.
really weird wording.
Yeah, I thought it was weird too because it's like, why don't you just say a story expansion? Like, I think
Yeah.
just the fact that you're doing it was unexpected, but whatever. No price for the season pass yet.
No, we do.
20
you do
bucks.
now?
It's been updated. It's 20 bucks.
That's good.
It's 20 bucks.
That's good.
Sorry, I lost my headphones. It's $20, and it I believe they did commit to spring for that story expansion. So.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I think if you're getting the game and you enjoy it, I think it's kind of a no-brainer. So
it was one of those things that when the news first broke, I was like, I don't know why they're doing this. I haven't played the game. I don't know if I like it or not.
Right.
But at $20 with challenge maps, weapons, and a story expansion, I'll probably buy it. Like I'll probably do it. Just at $20. That sounds like a good value.
You won't do that right out of the gate.
No,
right?
I might because you get the weapons day one.
Yeah, but that's $80 for a new IP. That
I already bought it though.
I know. Well, you paid $60, but now you're doing $80.
Well, I mean, it's a new IP, but we're familiar with the formula.
Right. Well, the
Um,
idea of the formula.
Exactly. Now you're right. You're right to be pessimistic, but $20 is something I'm willing to take a risk on a game for $20. It's not like a season pass. This isn't like Call of Duty or Destiny or something. They're like, here's an $80, $100, like $50 season pass. It's $20.
Yeah.
Like weapons and maps is, if it was just weapon and maps, I probably wouldn't do it. But even if it was just weapons and maps, I'd probably say $20 isn't that bad for just that. But with the promise of a story expansion coming,
yeah.
and 20, it's in that Zelda realm, right? When Zelda was announced, it was like, well, you get these shirts, and everyone was like, that was stupid. I was like, it's literally worth $20 for the future. Like you're gonna want to buy it for the maps, like the challenge, the Master Trial challenge, and the story expansion. And I'm at least still very much looking forward to the story expansion. Kevin, did you ever do the Master Trial? No, it's so good. Like the Master Trial alone was worth $20. So I'm hoping.
I have not booted up Zelda since I beat it.
Wow,
haven't touched
Same
it.
here. Yeah.
At $20, I'll take a risk on it. I will. I mean, because it's a first party game. I'm looking forward to it. It's got Mario. It's got the IP. I don't think Nintendo's like not associated with it. I don't think it's gonna come back with like the story mode's garbage. You know, like I don't think that's gonna happen. It's still a ways off. But challenge maps a big deal, kind of for me. I think there's value in challenge maps.
Sure.
The only correlation that I really have are the Warriors games. Like I played Hyrule Warriors. I bought all that DLC. And all it was challenge maps and add-ons, and I loved every bit of it. I bought every bit of it. I was like, "This is fantastic! I just want to play this game more." So
what if those challenge maps are like the VR missions from Metal Gear?
Oh, I would buy it in a second.
You guys like those? Oh my god!
Yeah, those are awesome. You have to run through and play as the ninja in the VR.
The worst. Anyways, I only asked because I'm getting rapids, and I was just trying to debate if I was going to jump in right away. I mean, I'll probably play it the day I get it, and if I like the game, then I'll spend that $20 the next day. But I was just curious how many people you think are going to just spend
You're making the
$20.
most sense. That's the logical take. Yep. Remember here, segue into my next story, I have a crap ton of credit to spend. So if I can, Kevin, I'll just jump into my next story.
Go right ahead.
GameStop is running a really great promotion right now where they're doing their stack deal. This is a deal they've pulled out like annually a couple times. I know a couple years ago it got kind of exploited to death, so it kind of went away for a while. But they're now doing this stack deal where the more you trade, the more you save. And I know they always say that, but in this regard, it really makes a lot of sense. So for example, if you trade in like 2 games, you get 20% bonus on top of the trade value. If you trade in 4 games, you get 40% on top of trade value. If you trade in 6 or more games, you get 60% on top of the standard trade value. I traded in a bunch of games this week. I really kind of basically rid myself of my 3DS library. If it wasn't a Zelda game, I pretty much put it off to auction. I was like, all right, well, I'm getting so much value for this, I'm turning it over. Kevin, I moved on from Pikmin. I got to World 5. I was almost through it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to trade it in. I got 30.
Beat it?
I got $34.50 for it. Like I played that game for like what felt like 10 or 15 hours, and I paid $6. I was like, now is the time to move on. I'll reacquire it later. I don't know. Probably not. but I mean, it's such a good trade-in value. The value proposition was so high. I got all of my kids' games, all of my Mario games, all that. I'm not telling anybody else to do it, but what I will say is when you get 60% on top of GameStop's value, and GameStop's trade-in value is pretty fair, I would say. It's probably like 40% at retail. You know, it's probably 20% less than what you can get if you sell it yourself, but then you've got to ship it and all that. It's pretty fair. You throw 60% on top of it. I walked in with a bunch of 3DS, Wii, and a couple 64 games that we didn't play anymore. I walked out with $400 this week. I've been buying all kinds of stuff left and right. I got credit to burn. So when I tell you I'm going to buy this Rabbids things, because it doesn't cost me anything. So just be full court pressed, you know, transparent. Sure, I'll throw $20 at it. I got it to. It's like I got it to blow. I got to spend it on something. But it's a good trade-in promo. So if you've got stuff you're looking at, you know, especially in the Nintendo realm, Nintendo stuff holds value. You got a bunch of, you know, PlayStation 2 or 360 games, probably not, right? You're not going to hold it like $2 a game or something like that. But if you've got some first-party stuff that's still got value, 20, 25, like for example, my son's a huge Pokemon fan, which I've already mentioned. He's a huge Pokemon tournament fan. We had Pokemon X, we had Pokemon Moon, I had Pokemon Sun. We'd already beat them. I even asked him, I was like, hey, do you want to trade this in? You don't have to. Don't if you don't want to. He's like, I don't play it anymore. We got like $34 for every Pokemon game we had. Think about that for a minute.
Wait,
those are games I bought a year or more ago.
$34 total or each?
Each.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. They still sell them for full price, so yeah.
Well, I know what they sell them for, but think about it in the trade-in value. Like normally you get like $18 for them.
Yeah.
Right? But when I included my bundle, I was literally getting like $32, $34, $28, $30 for these big games, and it just stacked up like super fast. That 60% was huge.
So this sale's going on until September 3rd. Why don't you finish Pikmin? Why don't you finish Pikmin? It would have been like an hour more, if that. Like,
do you think it would have been that soon?
Yeah.
So to be honest with you, it was just I wanted to play Sonic Mania. I had Uncharted. Like Uncharted came in the mail. I know Hot Shots is on the horizon. Rabbids is one of those things like I'm super excited for. I don't even know how fast I'll get to it because I'm playing Everybody's Golf next week. Like there's so much coming. I was like, I'll just go ahead and like this is great. It has nothing to do with Pikmin. I love my Pikmin experience. Yeah. I don't feel like I robbed myself from finishing to the end. Like I'm not like, well, what happened? Like
you missed the huge ending, dude. I'm just
think so. In Pikmin,
yeah.
Race spoilers.
Yep. I deliberately left the ending out of my review.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Okay, I will look it up then. But you know, it's one of those things where I played the game for 3 weeks. I could get $34 out of it. So basically, I rented it for $6, played it for hours. Like, it was just such a good value. I was like, yeah, like we'll do it. You know, and you know, it's like if I'm going to parse down my entire 3DS library, it really kind of was a decision. Where like, all right, well, it's probably time to move on. Like, I'm still going to play Metroid, but now I'm probably going to stop. Like, I may be Switch from now on. Like, that may be the switch.
Donnie, be careful what you say, because now you're talking about getting rid of your 3DS. Remember what happened when you talked about how you don't play your Xbox One? I'm just saying.
No. Don't take that.
I know.
My 3DS hardware, the hardware itself, has like 120 games on it. That thing's not going anywhere. I can't get any of that back. But Pikmin physical, I can get back. Dude, come on. We both know, like, Black Friday, Pikmin digital will go up for like $20.
No, it's Nintendo. It's Nintendo first party game. It's not going to be on sale.
They still sell at Black Friday. They have discounts
$5 off
like that.
$5 off.
We'll see.
Anyway, if you use all your platinum coins on my Nintendo,
it's good. There you go. I got to use those coins on something.
This is what I imagine is if you had the text to voice chat for Discord. If I had like a person reading me Discord.
I just want to say Donnie's going to sell his 3DS so somebody yells at him for the next 4 days in Discord. So
I just bought a new faceplate.
The Yoshi one, right?
Get rid of the games, but I am still buying faceplates.
All right. I think that's it. So before we leave, guys, anything you'd all like to plug or direct people to, or where can they find you? Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
What a freaking fart I just had. Josh Bones on Twitter. I try to stay relatively active. Why so serious on Xbox and PlayStation 4? SIRRIUS. I'm still getting really weird random messages from people.
Oh, yeah.
Are
So
you?
I guess people are listening to the podcast, which is good. If
No, I'm
you're
getting
someone,
a bunch of spam. I'm getting a bunch
Yeah.
of spam on both.
if you're someone who's trying to game with me, send me a message that says like, "Hey, Josh,
PSVG.
Yeah,
I
type
listen,
PSVG.
I listen
Type
to
4
the
letters in there.
podcast." Yeah, not like "What's up" or "Hey" or "Hola." Like, give me something that I can work with. Otherwise, I
Hey,
have
big
to.
guy.
I have to ignore you. I did stream about 2.5 hours of the new No Man's Sky update on the PSVG YouTube. So check that out. I'm going to try to continue from where I left off. So I'll try to keep that stream going as like a continuous story arc for that new Atlas story that's going on, which I failed to mention it earlier, but very impressed with what they did with that game. Too bad Mass Effect won't follow them up on that, but that's all you can find me.
Justin. Yes.
Cheesecake. I'm on Twitter, jpicky86, and I also try to jump in Discord as much as possible. And that is about it.
Sir Donnie.
No.
No cheesecake?
No chance of Final Fantasy on Switch.
Yeah, I agree.
Who cares? You guys are just curmudgeons. You just curmudgeons. You can find me on Twitter playing Nintendo. Also tweeting from us at PSVG. I usually run the Twitter account. So definitely come find us. We have a Twitter list, which is fantastic. So if you do follow us on Twitter at PSVG, click on a list. We have a list called PSVG Team. It's got everybody's stuff there. So Justin, Josh, Jason, they're all there. You can go follow all of them, see everything that we're doing. It's good stuff. Click on the Discord banner, playsomvideogames.com, top left, big giant banner. Can't miss it. It's blue, it's purple. Discord. Click it. Come chat with us all day. You guys were chatting all day about stuff. I was on the chat today. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I kept getting messages. People hitting me like direct messages like, I really need you to stop. I'm busy. So at some point I'll have to go back through and reply to everybody.
All right, Donnie kind of covered it all, so I'll direct you a few things. Like I said earlier, check out the latest episode of Fluxapose. I'm going to go a little Ed Placencia here from Married to the Games, and over on our YouTube channel, we have the entire first episode of Batman Season 2 from the Telltale. I streamed a little bit of Just Cause 3. Donnie's been streaming stuff. Seth's been streaming stuff. So there's a lot of new content up there as far as game streams. So be sure to check those out. One thing I did forget to mention earlier that I want to take a second and mention because we've been called to task from an initiative that the Nintendo Nostalgia guys started up, and this is pretty cool, so I did want to kind of highlight this a little bit. We all know Metroid's coming. It's coming to 3DS, and Samus Returns, and it's I don't think it's debatable here, but Metroid is definitely one of the flagship franchises for Nintendo. But with that being said, doesn't always have those sales numbers to back that up. But here, it's a great time to be a Metroid fan. You have Metroid Samus Returns coming back. You have Metroid Prime coming back. So we want to keep that momentum alive. So they are putting it out there for people to try and support Metroid, support Nintendo, support Samus so that this continues. And they're challenging people to not only buy Samus on 3DS to play the game, but buy an additional copy for somebody else who may not be either able to buy it or may not think it's worth playing. So they're challenging. They're calling it the Metroid Initiative. So they're kind of putting that out there. So
really,
yeah, I think it's a
Jacob thing. That's an amazing thing. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, playing Nintendo. DM me tomorrow. The first person to DM to me gets Metroid. I'll buy you one. There you go. Listen to this whole thing. You get to the end. Direct message me at playing Nintendo. I'll buy you Metroid Samus Returns. I got credit to blow. I just traded in Hey Pikmin. Sure, I can do this. That's a cool initiative. I get behind that.
I think it's totally awesome. They want to show that Metroid can still sell and get it in front of as many people as possible. So I just thought that was really, really cool thing that they came up with. So wanted to throw that out there for everybody to check out. So yeah. So as always, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we'd like to remind you to never stop gaming.